Cosgrove.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Corrections and asks, does she stand by her statement in November last year about convicted rapist Maka Renata, quote, an intensive plan has been put in place to manage this offender's reintegration, which involves police. Agencies will be taking every step possible under the law to ensure the safety of the public, unquote.
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, yes.
The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Minister. On both occasions when the rapist Maka Renata absconded this year, on what dates was she first advised that he was on the run?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, I couldn't tell you exactly what dates that I was advised, but I can say that I was advised in due time. I can also remind that member that it's not actually permissible under the law for the Minister of Corrections to instruct any department in relation to an offender, but I have absolute confidence that the department has acted completely within the law and responsibly.
The Honourable, point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr Speaker, I raised 2 points with you. One, this question was on notice, and given that there is a quote specific to the case in question, the Minister has had a number of hours to perhaps perceive that she may be asked detail around this case. The question did not have the word instructions in it. It simply asked, and I'm happy to repeat it, on what dates, because there were 2 occasions when this person has absconded, on what dates was she first advised? Now, she's had a number of hours to prepare, sir. It was a specific question.
Order. I think one's got to be reasonable that the Minister obviously doesn't have that information. If she had that information, I'm sure she would have told the House. She made it clear she didn't have it. And I was listening carefully. Had she gone on to add any criticism of the opposition, I would have been concerned, but she didn't. She went on to simply explain the Minister's position in all of this. The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove, supplementary.
Mr Supplementary, Mr Speaker. Supplementary, Mr Speaker.
Order. I say to the Honourable Simon Power on this occasion, who's normally very good in complying with standing orders. I am on my feet. We've got into a bit of a mess there because of an unnecessary interjection from the Honourable Shane Jones. Now, the House just needs to be a little more... Order! House needs to be a little more reasonable. We know the sound system is making it hard for members to hear. That kind of interjection makes it impossible. The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove. Point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, the same member who earlier called you childish when you're on your feet then called out to you while you're on your feet again. I just wonder how much... I have a feeling if it was someone over here, including myself, sir, we might have been gone by saying out when you're on your feet in those circumstances.
Order. Now the House just needs to settle down a bit. The member who's raising a point about what might have happened to the other side will remember I was sufficiently courteous to him to allow him to repeat what he claimed was a point of order when I was pretty certain it wasn't. But I do pick up, I presume it's the very loud voice from the back of the House that the member's referring to, and I just ask the owner of that very large voice at the back of the House, who's looking around everywhere else but at himself at the moment. Order. I would ask Mr Quinn to please be a little more respectful to the House. He has a large voice and should not interject when the Speaker's on his feet. The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Supplementary, Mr Speaker. On each occasion when the rapist Maka Renata absconded, how long was it before his victims were advised that he was on the run?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, I couldn't answer that question. I can say this to the member, that if he expects me, every time an offender escapes or goes on the run, to strap on my little taser and go charging off after them, I can tell him I've got far more faith in the New Zealand Police than he clearly has.
Point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove. Order.
Mr Speaker, point of order. I raise a similar point of order to the last one. This question was on notice. It is clear from the quote, the original primary question, that the Minister was asked to stand by the case of Maka Renata, a man who has been on the run for 3 weeks. She has had ample time to prepare. And are we going to waste further supplementaries by asking very specific questions and the Minister saying, I don't know, I haven't prepared, I haven't done my job?
Order. I hear the member's point of order, but he is really questioning the quality of the Minister's answer. The Minister has answered the question. She says she doesn't have the information the member was seeking. Now, the quality of the answer may be something for the questioner and the public to judge, but the Minister has answered the question with respect to the standing orders. The Hon Clayton Cosgrove, supplementary.
I'll try again. On each occasion when the rapist... Well, you might laugh, but there's a rapist on the loose.
Order. Order. Now, order, I say to the Leader of the House now. And no, order. That is unacceptable, and the Leader of the House should not set a bad example like that. Now, I just ask both sides to settle down, or someone will be taking an early shower. We cannot allow that kind of abuse of the or disrespect to the House. The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove. Supplementary question.
Speaker. On each occasion when the rapist Maka Renata absconded, what action, if any, did she take or request of agencies to ensure the safety of the public?
The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, I asked the agencies to make sure they were taking every action that they could, and I'd advise that member, just remind him that the offender that he's referred to has actually finished his sentence. He finished his sentence. In addition to that, Mr Speaker, do the opposition want the answer or not?
Order. Order. I invite the Minister to resume her seat. Now, I say to members on both sides of the House that the solution to this noise problem is in their own hands. When the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove was seeking to ask his supplementary question, there was a barrage of loud interjection from the government benches, and I'm looking at the member involved particularly right now. She knows who she is. Now, when the Minister is answering, the government can't expect the opposition to be silent when the government has been very noisy during the asking of the question. The House, ultimately, the standards in this House are for the members to set. And if members want me to start applying the standing orders, there may be a few people leaving the House pretty pronto. I don't want to do that. The Honourable Judith Collins.
Mr Speaker, I'll just continue for the opposition's benefit. An extended supervision order has been applied for, and it was in November when this offender was still in prison. It has not yet been granted by a court, and actually the member should know that corrections does not actually, all they can do is apply for it, they don't grant it. It's before the court, and that member should respect the court process.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
To the Minister. Why did she wash her hands of this issue, palming it off as an operational matter and refusing any further comment about Renata's most recent disappearance when asked for comment from the Herald on Sunday, given the fact that she was very willing to publicly comment about this prisoner following his release in November last year?
Honourable Judith Collins.
Well, actually, that member might not realise, but this is actually an ongoing police investigation right now. And I think we should support the New Zealand Police to get on with their job. That member might want to be the puppet of the Herald on Sunday, but I'm not.
Question. Point of order, the Honourable Clayton Cosgrove.
Mr Speaker, I would request a considered ruling on a matter from you.
Order. Ministers should know they don't interject when a point of order is being heard. And I say to the Honourable Judith Collins, that's not good enough for a senior minister to treat this House with contempt. The Honourable Clayton Cosgrove, point of order. Mr
Speaker, I'd request a considered ruling because I don't want to waste the time of the House. And it is simply this, and I'm not challenging your ruling, sir. If it is the benchmark for answering questions, that ministers with questions on notice can come down and say, I don't know, then if that is your considered ruling, sir, that's the rules of the game. But I would have thought, sir, given other rulings that you've made, very fair ones, that questions on notice require a level of detail, and to come down the House and say, I don't know the answer, and not even offer to provide it, sir, is not good enough.
The member is now verging into criticising the Minister's answers. Had the Minister wanted the detail around the dates that the Minister asked in supplementaries, the Minister could have put that down in his primary question. He just asked in his primary question whether the Minister stood by a certain quote. And, it's the remedy is in members' hands if they want precise answers. Now, the Minister clearly did not have the information the Minister was seeking in those subsequent supplementary questions. In his final supplementary question, the member made